Let me tell you a story. Once upon a time, storytelling is a crucial aspect of humanity. The storyteller, the griot, has held this pride of place as keeper of archives of history, of memory, but also as entertainer. And some of us are just natural born storytellers. And you know this idea of stop tell story in Jamaica means stop tell lie. So, fictitious storytellers. But this is this wonderful thing, this ability of that some of us have to spin a yarn, whether it is fictitious or steeped in truth. And throughout history, some storytellers have held up a mirror of reflection to power that has often sometimes gotten them killed or in trouble. Hence, in our Anansi culture, the Jack Mandora, choose none. It means don't beat up the storyteller. I don't make it up, some may get it, some may sell it. Of course, back in the day when storytellers or griots or courtyard jesters, whoever, were performing for leaders who were abusing their power, they would often do satire or caricature at them, with them nose extra big or showing the atrocities. And they'll always say, oh no, it's just a play. It's just a story. Don't vex, don't vex, don't vex. Some children have the gift of storytelling from early on. But for me, as a creative and a writer and a poet, it's a wonderful urge, this desire, this ability, and sometimes this need to tell a story. And everybody is capable of telling a story. Everybody has a story to tell. Everybody's life is a story and a journey. Some people get the additional gift and the blessing of being able to spin a yarn and draw you in. As an adjudicator at JCDC, it's interesting to a lot of times teachers will enter a talented student, a student who does well in other categories, into storytelling. But it's not a popular category because it's hard. Because you have to not only tell the story, but engage the audience, get a rapport with the audience, do character voices. So storytelling is actually an art form. In addition to being able to naturally spin a yarn and engage people. And then that whole thing of our communities and our ancestors and tribes sitting in a circle and being told the stories that were either allegory, moral tales, or also pieces of our history. And that's how we got Anansi here in Jamaica. Our ancestors, our forefathers brought that with them on those awful slave ships. But it also helped keep them grounded. Because if Anansi can survive, so can they. And it was a tale of, Anansi was a trickster, beating the system and beating people sometimes 3-4 times in size, so he could get what he wanted. So it was also a symbol of resilience and power. Let us give thanks for storytellers and for storytelling as we move into our conversation today with Daniel T. Edwards, talking about storytelling. Stay tuned. Fabian Seh in the house. Greetings and salutations, greetings and salutations, greetings and salutations. And it's always nice, I say 3 times. Big up on yourself and how to do. My name is Fabian Thomas, and I'm here to say some things with a young man who I'm so pleased to have on my show with me today, because I'm very proud of him. Very, very, very proud of him. And the space he has etched for himself. And it's a credible, tan good space that's not mimicking what anybody else is doing. So Daniel T. Edwards, I'm starting by letting you know that I'm very proud of you, sir.
Thank you, sir. I'm very proud of you, Fabian. Very proud of you.
Thank you.
Yes. I've known you since I've been a teenager, Fabian.
Indeed. So how you doing?
I'm good. I'm enjoying life and exploring this journey of immersing myself in my purpose.
Yes, nice.
I haven't been able to do that, so I started doing that in 2020, just before the pandemic hit. So it's just been like being on a one of them, what do you call it? Great. What's the amusement park in America? Six Flags. Like a Six Flags.
Great adventure.
Right. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So let's go to the beginning. So tell me about your family. Are you from a big family, small family?
So I grew up like most Jamaicans in a single parent home with my mother. I was an only child.
Mm-hmm.
My father was married before me, had 2 kids. And my situation was unorthodox in that my mother and father grew up 8 houses away on the same street.
Wow.
My mother lived at number 16, my father lived at number 32. My mother was a flight attendant, so I went between both. When my mother was abroad, I was with my father.
Right.
And they were two.
So even though single parent home, father present.
Yeah, I saw my father.
So you saw him, you had access to him.
Yes.
And here's the thing, Daniel, that I've discovered that is not uncommon. So we know we have the absent deadbeat fathers, but a lot of young men, even them father, don't live in the house. They have access to him, sometimes not as much as they like. And people are setting up, as you said, unorthodox things where, we're not in the same household. How important is your mother in your life as a parent? What role? How has she impacted you?
Well, I would say my mother was the main. She was the general of the thing. Disciplinarian. Her style of parenting is pretty much tough love. So parenting for her is preparing a child for a cold, dangerous world. So as soon as you come out the womb, she's preparing you for life.
Okay.
Not coddling you. I'm not one of those spoiled children of a single mother. No, my mother was rough.
Right. So she prepared you for the world.
Yeah, she's I get my moral compass from her.
Yep.
I get my career from her, because there are 2 things I've done successfully throughout my life, which are speaking and selling. I've always been speaking and selling. My mother put me into performing arts with Olive Lewin when I was a kid. So you had like Alain. Alain was in that group with us. Alain was a star, and I was the only one who did elocution.
Nice.
My mother used to teach me how to recite these Bible verses and present them. I'm still speaking. I'm a voice actor. I'm still an MC. I'm still a speaker now. And in sales now at 10, she got me into sales at 10 now, selling friendship bracelets in grade 6. I was a life insurance salesman for 14 years.
And here's the thing, Daniel, and it's so powerful. That's why I love talking to people and going through these stories. A lot of people don't realize how you can impact and shape our children by what you expose them to.
Yes.
I tell the story all the time. Calabar, a literature teacher, and she went on to have some mental illnesses, but she was really creative. She had this thing where whenever we got essays and stuff, the 2 best essays, she'd make us read them out in class. And she said, the first time I did it, she said, Fabian, it actually sounds better when you read it out loud. So I'm going to give you 2 more percent, 5 more percent. That was my introduction to this idea of lifting words off a page. Of you could take words that were written for an essay and almost perform it. Because, me want the extra marks.
Right.
But she planted that seed. She planted this. What do you mean it sounds better when I read it? Because I think I was in second form, but that's where this idea of being a performer with words came from. Because this woman said, it sounds better when you read it out loud. And that, again, has shaped and impacted my career. Schooling, where you went to school?
So went to Hopefield Prep, then went to Mona Prep.
Okay.
Went to Campion College. And then when I got to Campion College, can I curse? Or this is a clean show?
You can curse, yes.
Things went to shit. Things went to shit at Campion. Things went to shit.
Really?
Yeah, man. Things went to shit. Real bad. So my mother had done a lot of work to get me prepared now for high school. And then when it got to, but it was through me getting supervision and extra lessons. There was a man named Mr. Abrams. I don't know if you remember this man. He had a school that prepared kids for common entrance. So I did well in common entrance.
Right.
Passed to Campion. And my mother think me good now. So, but at Campion now, they're taking the top 10% of all the kids in Kingston, the brightest of the bright. So quickly, as we reach, you ever see them 100-meter and it's a man just kind of stumbled over the blocks. From the jump, I was struggling to keep up academically. I had people like Mario Guthrie and all of these guys who are averaging 97%, Fabian, and Jyoti Bala from India. I mean, so I was struggling from the start. And then also, I didn't feel like I fit in, so I wasn't good in academics.
Mm-hmm.
I was a small kid. I didn't grow up. I didn't start growing until I was like 15. So I was small. Didn't have no girls and didn't come from a rich background. So I just felt like a nobody at Campion.
Out of place.
Really
and Dan, this is something I say to people that schools like Campion is not for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
It can demoralize you, as you said. And the amount of work they get at Campion, I think it's too much. Like I know kids literally, they have no time for nothing else. A friend of mine told me one time her daughter came home. The literature teacher cussed the class dog rotten. So they have no ambition because the highest mark was 85. How dare they? Me mean, I'm not to egg them to the bed, genuinely vex, dress them down properly, that them have no ambition and now go mount to nothing because the highest grade was 85. And I said to her,
but the thing is, some kids will actually thrive in that environment.
Some kids, but other kids, it does the opposite. So you stayed at Campion? You finished high school at Campion? You left.
So everything is just kind of spiraling out now. My mother and I are starting to have problems now because my mother is a overly controlling parent. As I mature now, I see why she was the way she was. She did the best that she could, but at the time, just overly domineering, and you reach teenage years now, you're trying to express your own identity yourself. And I just feel like my mother I calm me down.
Yes.
So a lot of altercations with my mom, and then she just eventually run me out of the house.
Okay, how old were you?
I was 14, so she run me out of the house, and then I went to live with my father now. Right. And this is my father's first time experiencing raising a kid by himself.
And raising a 14-year-old boy.
My two older siblings, my father never raised those.
Right.
So I come out to my father's house now, and then by the time the report card come out for the end of that year, I'm like second to last in the class.
Ooh.
And they're saying you're gonna have to repeat fourth form. No, at Campion, the worst shame that you can ever have is having to repeat. It's like somebody that said they go Siberia now. Go to Siberia.
Repeat.
So my father said, no, he went to boarding school. He went to Cornwall.
Right.
And my father said, look, no. His uncle was a deacon at Monroe. I said, listen, I got to pull some strings and get in a Monroe, and this is your last chance.
Right.
If this not working up on your own, then get me to Monroe College, and I flourished.
Wow.
Because now I was away from my mother and father fighting with each other.
Right.
Amongst other boys now, we have big brothers. I can't remember my only child, so now we have big brothers.
Yes.
We live in a dorm with 30 odd people.
Right.
From varying economic backgrounds.
Right.
You have guys
and academic backgrounds as well.
Yes. So you have guys in the dorm who have one suit of khaki,
Yes. Yep.
So him come and him washing. When him come to school for the term, he comes with a little duffel bag. That's all of his belongings. I'm washing one suit of khaki every night and it dry up the coal.
Yes.
So this was the first time now where I didn't feel like the poor guy finally.
Right.
I was seeing, and I was also putting my life in perspective. I was now seeing how privileged I was too.
Yeah. And that's so important, Daniel, that Campion never worked for you. And you went to Monroe and flourished and that's a powerful thing again for some parents to understand. Even though a school might be a brand name school, it may not be the environment for your child. Even first formers, a lot of GSAT superstars come to first form and crash and burn because it's a whole different world in high school. Sometimes they don't know which book they carry. The bag them say they carry everything, and I always say to them, and I've even said when I was there, why are first formers doing 16 subjects? That's crazy. That's insane. Give them a breather. Give them just done the prep of GSAT and PEP. Let them breathe. Introduce them to the culture of high school. Let them get to know each other. Because I think it's Finland or one of those countries where what we call first form, they don't teach no subject, They do diversity, personal development, team building, emotional intelligence. That's what they do in the first year. And they start subject teaching in second form. That makes perfect sense to me.
It does.
Because, people are finding themselves. So you went from Monroe, and what did you do after that? What was the next stop on the Daniel train?
So Monroe, I'm improving, but still giving a little trouble. But trouble for me was just kind of like being a class clown and also breaking out of the school.
Okay.
So I do what they call break bounds. When you break bounds at a boarding school, that's a serious offense. Because of course, you know, they are responsible for these kids, and some have these problem. So I was just like the runaway slave on the plantation. So any chance I would get, I would sneak out in the night.
Give us free.
Yeah, I would go to Hampton. So my trouble was with girls. I would break out and go down to Hampton High School. You know, Hampton was a sister school. We go find a girl them and thing, and they found out. And when I was doing CXC, you know, the housemaster always, my man named Mr. Kemper, who always hated me. And he said to me, "You're supposed to lose your boarding space, but you're already doing CXC, so you're not going to be able to come back for sixth form."
Wow.
So I did well. I did fairly well in CXC.
Right.
I got seven subjects. Came back to Kingston now and couldn't go to Monroe, but I couldn't tell my mother why.
Right.
I never wanted her to know. So go to Exeter Community College because I live in Mountain View, so I was walking distance from Exeter. So I started go Exeter Community College now and wasted 2 years. I need supervision as a youth. I need supervision. So Exeter is basically like a halfway house.
Yeah.
It's a school. You're in high school, but you can do whatever you can wear whatever you want. Nobody not gonna tell you when, because there are no mandatory rules for you to.
And you're like, this never worked for you. That did not work for you.
I'm walking distance from the school, so we're carrying girls back to the house. We do all type of stuff. We have put on parties, and we scrape through, and we just get enough to get into UE.
Right.
But when I finished Exeter, I was just saying, man, I can't take the school thing, and I need to get out of my mother. My mother having more and more altercations now. Because in my mind, I'm a grown man. Right. I started getting into acting now, so I'm now hosting a show on TV called Impressions. Right. Run by CPTC. Mm-hmm. As I done voice and speech training with my mother at 14. Mm-hmm. I was with Mr. Wycliffe Bennett, who is the daddy of voice and speech in Jamaica.
Look here.
And I was too young to be in the program, but my mother begged him, and so I did it with her. So in the class, you have Simone Clark.
Hey.
You have Paula and Porter. Mm-hmm. All those people. So Paula was in UE. Simone was in sixth form. I was so from there now I go into Impressions now, and then I go into acting. So I'm cast by Patrick Brown and Trevor Neer, rest in peace. Right. A play called My Son's Friend.
Oh yes, you were in the. Oh yes. Mm-hmm.
So that was when that is when Jambies is just becoming Jambies. Mm-hmm. And it was me, Donald Anderson, Dervan Malcolm. So me and Dervan Malcolm would alternate, and then you had Barbara and Bello.
Look at that.
So Donald Anderson is my friend, and I have an affair with his mom.
Right.
So that was my introduction to acting on the theater stage. I would say I gave a fairly good job. I still hadn't learned how to project yet. So people would be in the audience and be like, I can't hear you. So I hadn't learned about projection yet.
Right.
Thoroughly, you know. People don't talk about the technical aspect of theater.
Thank you. People see that it easy. Thank you. There's no mic.
You have to hear at the back of the room.
There's no mic. That's right.
Yeah.
And shouting and projection are two different things. Mm-hmm. Shouting damage your voice.
So I was shouting. So I now segue into my next mentor, now, a man named Fabian Thomas at Sandals. So I go to Sandals to escape my mom and my dad, and just escape my house, and to just do some fun and creative. And I'm thinking I'm going to go to Sandals. They're going to be girls. We're going to just be partying all night. It's going to be fun. And then here comes Fabian Thomas. No, this is a job. No. This is not how we do Sandals. This is a job. You're working. You're going to do 16 hours a day. We're going to rehearse every night. You have to be up. You have to be responsible.
Thank you. Rehearsals. What is that you said on the microphone? What was that introduction? What is
that? It was something else. So it was a wake up call for me now. And Sandals was where I had my first serious girlfriend too. That was a lot of firsts for me.
Right.
Remember Patra, me and Patra were there.
Yes. And I remember that. When I remember, you used to make me laugh. That you were so funny. You not really, and you're opinionated and strong with, but you were so fun. And sometimes I want to vex with you, and you're making me laugh. And I'm like, why is he making me laugh? You were, and that's the kind of role you played in the department, because even when serious things were happening, you'd either say something or you'd go over to somebody and say, I think you should go outside. Come with me, man. I want to tell you something. And then you went on from Sandals. Now, my brain says you went to Air Jamaica.
No.
That's when you left Sandals, where you went.
So I leave Sandals because you're like, listen, son, this is not a game. So I go to Jaktar. So I go to Sandals from August to December. Fabian is ruining my life because I can't have fun. So that is serious shit, and being responsible and being on time and being orderly and disciplined, and it's, they must soak in it. So I'm going to go Jaktar now. Go Jaktar, you can just have fun. So I'm having fun at Jaktar.
Fearless living.
But all of the MC training that I got from Sandals now with Mr. Kahuzak. Sandals was like a university for entertainment.
Yes.
Everything serious.
And again, rest in peace, Mr. C. Rest in peace.
So I'm now a polished MC, and I go to Jaktar and I shine, because Jaktar is just dancing all night. We used to do like cabaret shows. I wasn't the best dancer, but I was the best MC.
Yes.
So we go from there now, and I get into UA to do hotel management. The joint course, because I think I want to go into hotel management after working in the hotel. Because the hotel is like a nice little utopia, a little bubble.
Yes,
there's no crime, there's no violence. You're eating the same thing the tourists are eating. It's just one big party every night. Life is great. More I'm going to work in a hotel now, and I go back to Kingston. I fall into a dark place because my mom doesn't want me back in her house. My mom look at me and say, why are you here? I don't want you here. So that was heartbreaking. My mother never want me in her house. And she said, so you're going to UAE, so who going to pay for that? So I'm thinking I'm going to come home to, like, come to America with Eddie Murphy when and welcome home, son. My mother's like, why are you here? I don't want you.
Why are you here? Wow.
So that was rough. So now I'm getting into UTEC to do the program, and then I'm told we made a mistake. You have a 3 for math, so I only had 1 3, which was math.
Right.
At that time, 3 was still a fail.
Right.
The following year, they turn 3s into passes. So they say you have a 3 for math. We can't accept it because our program is oversubscribed. We have to give it to somebody else who have a 2 in math. And my mother went to war for me. My mother fight for me. My mother go as far as to the Minister of Education and say, how can they do this to my son? He left his job. And them say, okay, we can guarantee. Mr. Burchell Whiteman was the minister at the time. Said, all right, we can guarantee that if he passes, if he gets a pass on math, we put him in the next year.
Right.
So I go to you and I do remedial math.
Right.
So this is another thing we want to talk about now. The learning style of children. I'm left brain. I'm ace in geography, history, POB, all those, but struggle with math because I think I can read math. I don't want to read it.
And math is not a reading subject.
So practice it. So for the first time in my life, I aced math. I got an A in remedial math because now I was taught how to practice math, practice the equations.
Thank you.
Wash it up, getting a UA, and then in the process, I realized I don't want to do hotel management. I want to do psychology. So everything worked out how it was supposed to work out.
Yeah.
So no, because my mom is not going to pay me for me to go to. My parents don't have money like that. They're not going to send me to university after work. So I'm now a filing clerk at NEM Insurance Company downtown.
Right.
I'm a filing clerk, which is a nightmare job. Come down, you just put information into the computer every day. Daniel, go and get us a file from 1990. Go up in a one little vault and take out chicken boxes full of files and bring it back. And that was my job. And then the robot taxi and drive all the way up at UA. And I get home 8 o'clock and do it again. It was just hell. Because remember, Sandals was the first time in my life I was really happy on the hotel. And also the real world go.
Right.
So I'm back in the real world now.
Yeah.
And I'm back with my dad now. So me and my mother get into another altercation again, and she said, "Come out of me yard." So I'm now back in my father's house. I'm working 9 to 5, and I'm paying my way through UA.
Right.
Then I go into Air Jamaica now.
And how was your Air Jamaica experience?
Air Jamaica was one. So I think for me, I'm always drawn to things that are fun.
Mm-hmm.
Because home life was always just like work. My mother once sunrise, my mother's on your ass. You have to do stuff. I was always drawn to things that are fun.
So you wanted things that were at work but escapes.
Yes. So Sandals was an escape. It's fun. It's performance. It's creativity. Air Jamaica is fun because you're gonna fly all over the world, but it wasn't fun. You're really a glorified waiter. You're a glorified waiter, brethren.
And it's grueling and it's long hours and
you're in a pressurized environment.
Mm-hmm.
People not rate you, and you're on a plane.
How long were you in Jamaica for?
I just did 2 years and I was laid off.
Okay.
I was first on the list to get laid off.
Okay.
And the discipline and the mindset hadn't soaked. What you're trying to teach me hadn't soaked in yet. I was still just kind of unruly, so I'm doing my own thing, and you don't know if I talk to people, and it just didn't work out for me.
Right. So after Air Jamaica, what was next?
So now I'm in depression. I'm home. My mother now sorry for my mother's like I told you. You don't know how to talk to people. You're not respectful. This is why this is happening to you. So I'm going broke. I'm on a pity for you. And then one day somebody said to me, "Why not try sell insurance?" So I called my mother and said, "Mommy, please just call Mr. Locke. I know you know Michael Law. Just call him." "Why should I call him?" "Why don't you call him yourself?" So I said, "No, you have to be invited." My mother done me at this point, and she done me.
Done. Watch her hand like Pontius Pilate.
This youth is just not learning. So she called Mr. Law, and I go into Sagicor now. I've sold my car, no money, and I go into life insurance, and it's like the heavens just open up. I have found my home.
And you thrive there.
I'm fully autonomous. I can dictate my own paycheck. You don't have to report to nobody. I'm free.
And you're also engaging with and dealing with people.
Yes.
So you get to use that side of your personality and your skills as well.
Yes. And I'm dressed and I love fashion, so I'm wearing suits and tie every day, man.
There you go. Because I saw you a few times looking very dapper.
Yeah, man. Me fully GQ out now and buy myself a black BMW coupe and things. I'm just living my best life at this point in time. As a bossy slave, I didn't realize I was a bossy slave. You know, the things say me the man now, you know, but I'm just a bossy slave. In a tropical climate, walking around in a suit and tie, sweating, thinking I'm making it.
Because it represents something.
Yeah,
so
man.
How long did you stay at Sagicor for?
I did Sagicor for 10 years.
Right.
And then I left and went to Caribbean Assurance Brokers. So same job, different plantation. So I go to Caribbean Assurance. At this point now, I'm at the end of the road. I know I want to do something else. I know I'm limiting myself. I know I can do more, but I have not discovered an exit plan yet. This is where a lot of entrepreneurs, this is where they hit the wall. They know them hate them job. They know them can do more, but what to do?
What is the exit plan?
So at this point in time now, I'm getting the idea to start what was then Total 180.
Yes.
Which is now T180.
Right.
So I'm now dabbling in doing transformational workshops for men and boys. But I know I can't do it. I know I can't do it at Sandals because Sandals, them even smell say I make money from somewhere else. Them don't buy it.
Right.
So I knew if I went to Caribbean Assurance Brokers, it would be like a Jamaican sprinter going to Qatar. He's gonna be number one over there, but also there's less stress on me. Them no business with me. So I'm now dabbling in my new passion.
Right.
And I'm still the number one salesperson at that company. And then after 4 years now, I say, hey, I got take a leap. So in 2019, I began doing long story short.
Yes, long story short. And we have and I was saying to my producer and co-conspirator Michael earlier, and we have an image of your logo. How much I love your PR, your imaging, your marketing is really on point. It's clean, it's crisp, Please just go ahead and bring up mine now, Michael. Say just one time. And I'm actually using this image on my writer's page now. Look at that. Simple, clean,
Yes.
clean. And I'm gonna share because you had asked me before. I think Charlotte and I wasn't available. I think Charlotte asked me twice, and I wasn't available, and I wasn't quite sure what it was. And when she finally chopped note again, and I did it, and I said, "Okay, cool, I'm gonna go," because outside never did really keep for me. I stayed inside a lot, so I was like, "Me no." So I
Right.
went, and I was blown away, Daniel. It's the show delivered so much more than I expected. I was so impressed. I was blown away, but also reminded of the power of storytelling, of the
Yes,
power
sir.
of an idea and a concept that is executed and the way you managed it. And you reminded us of our time limit. Please do not go over time.
Mm-hmm.
You were present, your people were set up.
Mm-hmm.
It was not a little fly by night. Things it was you had a plan and a process. Because even when Charlotte engaged me, I had to send my bio and the picture. And a thing she said, Daniel likes to hear
Mm-hmm.
what the story is. And then
Mm-hmm.
he said, well, one line, and Charlotte said, we need a
Mm-hmm.
little more. She said, he needs, and she said, you don't have to tell us a story, but tell us it. And I thought, this is well thought of. But when I got there, I did not expect it to deliver the punch that it did. I felt so good. I felt not just about being out, but the stories, the laughter, the community, the energy. And I thought, what a beautiful thing Daniel has created. Over using things from your life, from your journey, and you've created a brand and a niche. And the funny, because I got there early, I missed a little bit of people, and I said, in 2005, nobody that come and wait in 5-10 minutes, the place back up till my sister in Kelly came and she had to sit down in the back. And I
Yes.
thought, this is an idea whose time has come. Tell me, where did the inspiration and idea for doing long story short come from?
All right. So many messages in this journey. So I'm hitting a wall in my life, and I get to a point where I realize I need a mentor. Because the narrative in my house was you do everything yourself. You can't trust nobody, and if you want to get something done, you do it yourself.
Mm,
That's my mother's. My mother is a lone ranger type of thing, and I'm a lone
right.
ranger too, lone wolf.
Yeah.
And asking for help is weakness. And I got to a point in 2015 where I sought out a mentor, man that you know,
Mm.
Kevin Wallen.
Ah.
So Kevin Wallen, no, I was the first person I formally approached and say, "Can you give me some mentorship?"
Yeah.
And I'm at a crossroads. So me and Kevin started to partner from 2015. So he used to live in his cabin way up in Garden Town, way up, way up.
Mm-hmm.
You're looking down at the sun. You have to walk about, you're looking down at the sun, you're way up. You have to walk for 40 minutes to get up there. Have this
Yeah.
little rustic wooden cabin, have a little waterfall and things. So up there now, and Kevin is there. Colleen is there, a poet named Sage is there. And Kevin says, Fabian, you tell me a story. Daniel, you tell me a story. And we just go around and we just tell a story in 5 minutes each. And it was amazing. So I told a story about when I tried to sneak into a party and the security guard catch me and fling me out of the party in front of everybody. Sage told a story about how his mother used to beat up the men in the community. She was like a karate expert. So weird. I just thought it was fascinating. And I am an obsessive, and I think all true successful people are usually obsessives.
Mm-hmm.
You have to just be on this thing every week, and that's why until you discover the thing that you're obsessed with, you don't hit that success threshold.
Yes.
You're not going to be up till 4 o'clock in the morning plotting and scheming in that business if it doesn't move in that way.
Come on, boy. Preach,
So I'm
preach,
obsessed.
preach.
So I dream the name. Long story short, I dream the slogan. Everybody has a story. What's here? I dream it and wake up with it. And now I decided to create this thing now, like a rising stars for storytelling. We're all supposed to do it together, but nobody else was obsessed with the idea like me. Everybody just kind of does, yeah, man, everything. And I'm going back to them with it, and nobody now take me on. So we just keep on doing the idea. So I go to a very popular TV producer in Jamaica, and I give her 2 ideas, and I say, let's do a makeover show for men. And then let's also do the storytelling show. And she said, I love the makeover idea, but the storytelling, nah, it's not a good. I don't see people watching stories. I don't see it. And I'm like, what? Oh. Well, everything, movies, music, everything is a story.
Stories.
So we go to a venue person. I'm going to try to do it as a event. No, we go to a lady with a venue. She said, I'm not seeing, why would anybody pay money to watch people tell stories? Furthermore, my venue is $1,000 US. So a lot of us have ideas and naysayers and people without vision sometimes sway us.
Yeah.
Hearing the wrong thing from the wrong person can just set you back.
And a lack of support, and sometimes they don't see the vision, they don't get them not catch the vision.
So and then at this point, I wasn't fully standing in my power as a creative and an entrepreneur yet.
Right.
So I parked the idea now, and 4 years later, I'm at Grosvenor. I didn't even know Grosvenor was still a venue, and I'm there with 2 other musicians. And they had a jam that used to be down by King's Plaza, near King's Plaza.
Right.
The Palette.
Yes.
That was closed.
Yes.
I'm just there trying to help them and saying, why you guys don't just start a jam? You guys should be playing more music. You should be getting out. So I'm just there to support. And then they're saying to me, so how we are going to sustain a jam? How do we have enough musicians to do this every week? So I say, why don't we just mix it with stories? I have this idea from before called Long Story Short. So we could have one storyteller, one musician, one storyteller, one musician. And I say, brilliant, brilliant. Someone say, what you want to call it? Because I don't want to force my name on it. I say, no man, we love the name, keep the name. So we plan to put this thing together in a few weeks, and in the process of putting it together, them fall by the wayside. So I'm left by myself with 1 week to go. So I call Charles Baker. Charles Baker says, do you know Patrice Q Soul? Do you know a guy named Jeremy? So I get a sound man, we get an MC, and with Q Soul's help, we put together the event in about a week. I'm walking in the supermarket and I say, Mikey Bennett, I say, Mr. Bennett, you ever hear about something named Long Story Short, him I light up. Like the name there. Now we have Mikey Bennett on the show. We have Rodney Campbell on the show. We have Raoul Blaze on the show. Walking in off the street, and it was supposed to be a competition. And it was from the very, very first show was a hit. And we were charging $500. Yeah.
One of my absolute favorite Jamaican proverb sayings, Daniel, is what is few cannot be unfeel. Nobody not feeling it. Plus my venue is $1,000. You put it down. You've got to help somebody else with something. And then a week before, them fall out and you kept going. And sometimes as creatives, as I said, people who get that obsessive idea, it is hard. And sometimes we waste our energy trying to validate it and explain it to people, to justify why we put so much energy. And I've learned that's not my job. I don't have to make you understand what's driving me. But so we want people who love and who are close to understand and to get it. Sometimes they're never going to get it. Because they can't. There's some things we can't articulate about that drive. And it makes no sense to anybody else. And like I said to you, Daniel, and I said it to everybody afterwards, I said, I got way more than I expected. I said, I knew Daniel, so I expected it to be good, but it was great.
Thank you, sir.
It was life affirming. The people who sat with me, I didn't know them by the time the show was done. We were chatting and laughing and sharing stories at the table. And I thought, this is, and I immediately knew, I said, Daniel didn't just want to put on a storytelling thing. He was building community. The vibe, the energy that's in here, and the way people, when you're coming down, big you up, you don't know, so I love your story, and even afterwards. So congratulations. So big up yourself.
Thank you, sir.
Big up yourself. You've done, and then I love the tie-in with the charity work.
Yes.
Because you're not charged $2.5 just for the sake of charging big money. It's going to a worthy cause. So let's talk about that side of the production.
So that side of the production came from me though, doing workshops with IGT. That's a gaming company behind Supreme Ventures Lotto. So international company. So doing my total 180 workshops, which is now T180. I ended up doing workshops for boys from the SOS Children's Village Alpha Boys Home and thing. I have a program called Ready for the Road.
Right.
Which is just a life skills program for young men.
Yes.
Just giving you the game, how to get into the working world, how to show up as a professional. The stuff that you were trying to teach me when I was working at Sundance. Early, how to do a proper handshake, how to give a speech, how to tie a tie, what to wear to those things. So in the presentation, I made a mental note because I live in the vicinity of the SOS Children's Village. So I made a mental note. Whenever I have an opportunity, I'm going to align SOS Village with whatever product I'm doing.
Right.
So long story short, I'm saying, SOS, Grosvenor is right at the foot of Stony Hill. And they right up there, so. And then it's an open secret that everything that I do is going to have an agenda, which is male transformation and development. Even long story short.
Yes.
But people think that doing male transformation means, we just have an event with pure men. It's just all men, yeah. Women don't know, because a man talk time, no. Yin and yang, so you bring the women in too. It's having positive, you have stuff with just the men, but also positive discourse. And that's why, long story short, if you notice, it's man, woman, man, and the lineup, man, woman, and the lineup. So even long story short, I'm sprinkling in the opportunity now. So you have a Fabian Thomas, you have a Andre Hilton talking about how he started his business. We have enough positive male role models in our society. So this is another opportunity.
Nice. And so and this is something you're going to continue with, and I'm sure build and grow and expand. Yes. It has so much. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing, and I encourage anybody who hasn't experienced it to please look out. They're on IG,
YouTube,
Facebook, and Facebook, and it's long story short, Jamaica on all of them, right?
And Twitter too now. Long story is.
And Twitter, all right. So see, it's at the bottom of the screen, so you can follow them, support. And trust me, you won't be disappointed. And there's food at the venue as well. Daniel, big up yourself. Congratulations on the journey. On the journey. How are things with you and your mom now, and your dad? How are things with you and her now?
My mom and I have finally healed our relationship.
Yeah.
So I went to a workshop conducted by Kevin Wallen called The Process. I mean, I have a degree in psychology. I've immersed myself in all of the stuff of every motivational speaker I've heard and listen. And Kevin has a program called The Process. It's a 4-day workshop. You go on a Thursday, go up into the mountains, and you leave you fast for the whole time. You hike, and then you pretty much drop your shit, all your shit that you carry. So
shed it.
So last March, I went and did the process, and my mother and I have been good since.
Nice.
Yeah.
But it's work, it's work. The life journey is work. It's work. And you mentioned that. We talked about this before, and guess what? It have to happen. So we're going to, because I'm part of Carryman Jamaica, there's work for us to do with Carryman. Because as you know, part of our mandate as well is, as you said, creative. We have to work on creating healthier, less dysfunctional men.
Yes.
And if we are batter bruising them, cussing at them, telling them to man up, and telling them man a bad man, where are they learning to be a good man? Where are they learning not to rape women? I keep saying, look at what you're telling them. Look at what they're exposed to. Where are boys learning not to thump down at you to disrespect you? Who is saying that to them? We have boys begging them family, don't make the community know something bright. Can they go tease me? What kind of talk? So we have to create space, and also spaces for even father. There's a project that's been in my head for a long time. Fathers and Sons, a Fathers and Sons project to work on healing those relationships, having those conversations, helping someone be better fathers, to be present. I hear them, it's want me get a youth. They say, get a youth from where they shop. Maybe you get a youth. What that mean? You lay them with somebody, girl child, and you brought forth a life.
Yes.
What does that mean? So and we had said it a while back, and I think we have to really make it happen. Some partnerships between Carryman Jamaica and you with the workshops, and an ongoing for some work in schools. Because guess what? We have a responsibility to do it.
Yes.
All of us who have had mentors who have survived, who have gotten to the other end of our journey, we have a responsibility to pour back in, as opposed to just washing them up and them, or them the youth of today, this. What are we doing to make a difference and make a change. Daniel, we're proud of you. I'm really, really proud of you. And I'm excited that I'm still alive and here to see your journey and to see your growth and to see you standing in your truth. I'm celebrating and blessing you and your mom and the healing of that relationship, because that's important. Big up yourself, and thanks for saying yes to having this conversation with me.
Anything where you are doing in Twitch, Fabian, anything that you're doing.
Let's see. So everybody who come on the show have to play a game at the end of the show. Here are the options. There's spelling. There's something called rapid fire, where I just say a word and anything that comes to your mind, you say it. There's something called Let Me Ask You Something. That's just asking things about your life and your personality. There's mix up and blender, which is questions, asking things that you may not want to reveal in public. And there's Jamaican trivia. So there's rapid fire, Jamaican trivia, mix up and blender, Let Me Ask You Something, or spelling. What do you choose, sir?
I would say rapid fire.
Why people love, we're going to take out rapid fire. People love rapid fire, you see? All right, so no thinking, no thought, whatever comes to your mind. So first word, money.
Power.
Wedding.
Love.
Butu.
Ghetto.
Teeth.
Long bag.
Black.
Beautiful.
Sex.
Beautiful.
Twins.
Magic.
Mango.
Sweet.
Maga.
Hungry.
Hero.
Gladiator.
Soca.
Whining.
Chocolate.
Bliss.
Crocodile.
Teeth.
Catchy Shubi.
Game.
Samfai.
Ginal.
And last one, Bunununus.
My girl.
Yeah, come on now. Come through. Daniel T. Edwards, visionary, creative, whose brainchild is this beautiful thing that you've gifted the world with called Long Story Short. I salute you, sir. I salute your journey. I salute your growth. I'm so glad our paths cross. I'm so glad I can call you. And I'm a former employee, a former mentee. Bless you, Daniel. I'm affirming every good thing for you.
Bless you.
Keep going. Folks, this has been Fabian Seh. You know the deal. Like, subscribe, share, and all these good things. And please go. So, long story short, is the last Saturday of every month. So please go and support them, and they're on social media. Big up yourself. Enough love, Daniel. And big up my producer, co-conspirator, Michael Sean Harris. This is Fabian Seh. Peace and love.